Next topic is problem solving and creativity. The process of creative problem solving usually begins with defining the problem. So when one faces a problem, the first thing is to define what the problem at hand is, and then look up for its solution. Now, after defining a problem, you may lead towards the defining of a solution. There are solutions who have already been discovered by individuals. You have the prior solution to a problem, and when you find that already made solution to a problem, then the process of solving a problem simply comes to an end. You do not work further on solving a problem. But if that is not the case, then you consider other options. You get into making an effort of deliberation, making an effort of looking at other options, or rather creating a solution. So when you get into a process of creating a solution, that requires a certain amount of creativity on your part. So problem solving, if it has a solution which has already been developed, that solution is given to a problem, the problem gets solved. But if this is not the case, then people work on creating a solution for a particular problem. This can all involve a mental shift or cognitive reframing. That means that while working on a problem, you sort of divert your attention, you leave the problem and move your focus towards creating a solution to that. Then facilitation of ideas, which means that not only considering one particular idea or one particular solution, rather considering multiple ideas so that one appropriate idea has a more greater chance to be a solution to that problem. And then maybe a change in terms of your perspective, so you can have a fresh, or you enter a fresh perspective. So these things basically lead to, or they can be considered as tools for creating solution as far as your problem is concerned, or solving a problem is concerned. Now we will look at problem solving and creativity in the context of bilingualism. There are certain scholars who believe that bilingualism led to cognitive impairment. For example, the prominent linguist Otto Jespersen said that the brain effort required to master the two language instead of one certainly diminishes the child's power of learning other things which might and ought to be learned. Many early psychologists also concluded that bilingualism had a detrimental effect on children's intellectual development. But then we also have other views which are positive views, which are quite contrary to these. Now, the research done by Peel and Lambert in 1962 suggests positive view of bilingualism as far as problem solving and creativity is concerned. They selected 10-year-old bilingual and monolingual children from the same French-speaking school system in Montreal and gave them a series of tests to ensure that they were balanced bilingual. That is, their level of fluency in French and English was comparable. Contrary to previous results, the bilingual children performed better than the monolingual children on both verbal and non-verbal measures. In particular, the bilinguals were superior in tasks that required mental or symbolic flexibility. So Peel and Lambert concluded that bilinguals have a greater degree of cognitive flexibility relative to monolinguals. Now, in comparing highly proficient and less proficient bilingual with monolinguals, Richard Daly found that Italian English bilinguals who were proficient in both languages scored higher or several tests of creativity than monolinguals. In contrast, bilingual children with proficiency in only one language showed no creativity advantage over monolingual children. Then we have another study conducted by Hakuta and Dias on non-verbal intelligence and metalinguistic awareness. Their sample included more than 300 Puerto Rican elementary school children from New Haven, Connecticut. All were from poor homes and were more proficient in Spanish than English. The children were given a non-verbal test of intelligence as well as a test of metalinguistic awareness. The researchers found that non-verbal intelligence was positively related to degree of bilingualism. Metalinguistic awareness was only weakly related to bilingualism, although it was related to skill in one's native language. Then the same group of bilingual was examined over time. As they gained proficiency in their second language, their scores on the non-verbal intelligence test improved. Moreover, the improvement in proficiency preceded the improvement in intelligence, suggesting that language proficiency caused cognitive improvement rather than the other way around. Therefore, it appears that bilingualism does indeed confer an advantage in at least certain cognitive tasks. To conclude, the considerable research indicates that bilingual children show greater evidence that they perform better on the problem-solving and creativity tasks than the monolingual children.